social distancing, and personal hygiene have now become major aspects in the daily living of the people since the first case of COVID-19 was recorded in the country. Regardless of the difficulties in observing and following these guidelines, little or no option is available for the people if the nation is to win the battle against the pandemic, as the virus relies on human-to-human contact for its spread. As the battle against COVID-19 rages on, with more cases being recorded every day, while the government weighs some of its options on the guidelines due to some of the economic impacts, the people must now take center stage in the fight.
When you look at what happened in that climate, so we're supposed to have learned big lessons from them. But as if we're not learning. Initially, when there was total lockdown, people started shouting, "Oh, the economy is very bad, we don't have food to eat, we don't have what have you." I said, okay, let us give you some respite of going for your businesses at free period. But you find out our people, when they go out, it's even worse than when they were doing their normal businesses, because they now come out en masse, they get themselves crowded in the marketplaces everywhere.
The government has decided to adopt a kind of a staccato arrangement, so to say. It's an inevitable way of going about it, given the peculiar circumstances that we find ourselves, the economy and the people and the nature of the setting in our base here. But how far is another? Those areas going towards Lagos State, particularly Ifo and Ado-Water axis, have not been complying effectively with the governmental lockdown. Thank God we have mobile courts in operation now. But the mobile courts are kind of in Abeokuta zone.
These roles that should be played by individuals to curtail the spread of the virus will no doubt determine the new phase of the battle.
From now, we are getting to have a reorientation, economically, socially, health-wise, social knowledge of how things could be redone, because we were used to a particular ways of life. Our lives would definitely change in this instance.
Have different kinds of, mixtures that people can take. And I do tell people, when we were growing up, our parents, when you have malaria, they will give us dongoyaro leaf, they will cook this mango leaf or what have you leaf, and we drank all those things, we got well. All these years, are we saying that our scientists couldn't have developed something from those agbo we were taking to take care of malaria in this country? But who will fund such?
They called on the government to look inward and find a cure for the virus by investing in research in the efficacy of some of the local herbs in finding solution for the virus. Matthew Shomi, OGTV News.
And there is review for state government following President Muhammadu Buhari's approval of the suspension of deductions of loans and bailout funds from their monthly allocation. The coronavirus pandemic has virtually destroyed the world's economy, draining Nigeria's oil reserve to the bottom. The Federation accounts projected revenue has dropped by more than half, a situation that will make it impossible for states to meet up with their obligations, including payment of workers' salaries for next month. The federal government has slashed the 2020 budget as a result of the economic crunch. Many states have also downgraded their financial projections. Each state will, however, go to its lenders to renegotiate the interest rates on their credit facilities. Nigerian army troops on Sunday killed 20 Boko Haram Islamic State of West African province terrorists at the northwest of Baga town in the state. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Defense Headquarters, Major General John Aneche, disclosed this in a statement on Monday in Abuja. Major General Aneche said the troops of 130 Battalion, with the support of the Army Super Camp, Baga, recorded the success in a decisive intercept offensive operation. It disclosed that the terrorists, who were armed with mortars, rocket-propelled grenades and small arms, were heading to attack villages surrounding Baga when the troops attacked their convoy with overwhelming firepower. According to him, the troops captured 6 AK-47 rifles, 520 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, and 536 hand grenades. However, 9 gallant soldiers were wounded in action with no loss of life. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, commended the gallant troops for their professionalism and directed them to remain resolute towards eradicating the criminals from the northeast. And the Nigerian Air Force has deployed its Special Forces operatives to Nasarawa State to boost internal security in the state and the North Central. The troops were deployed to tackle the emerging security challenges such as banditry, cattle rustling, as well as farmers and herders clash. A statement by NAF's Director of Public Relations and Information, Commodore Bikule Daramola, has it that the deployment of the Special Forces element follows the earlier deployment of NAF Mi-35P helicopter gunship conduct operations in the state. Addressing the troops, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who was represented by the Air Officer Commanding Special Operations Command, Air Vice Marshal Charles Owo, noted that the move was aimed at enhancing the existing security architecture in the state. In his remarks, the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, who was present to receive the troops, expressed appreciation for the swift response by the NAF to deploy the Special Forces element, adding that it will no doubt help to bring acts of criminality in the state to an end. The governor said deployment was evidence of President Muhammadu Buhari's pragmatic leadership and the importance the current federal government administration attaches to security of lives and property of Nigerians. The Nigerian Air Force has graduated another batch of Special Forces and combat search and rescue personnel in furtherance of its aggressive capacity building efforts to address security challenges in the nation. The combined graduation ceremony comprised 94 trainees of the Special Forces Course 6 2020 and 32 trainees of Combat Search and Rescue Course 2 2020. In a statement by NAF's Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikule Daramola, the Chief of the Air Staff and the personnel were graduating at a time when the nation was in dire need of their skills to add impetus to operations being conducted to restore normalcy in restive parts of the country. He urged them to imbibe the attributes of honesty, courage, perseverance, and adaptability as they will be required to operate in hostile environments to ensure that NAF achieved its objectives. The Air Chief also inspected a 20-bed isolation ward at the 261 NAF Reference Hospital and inaugurated an Olympic-sized swimming pool for training of regiment and Special Forces personnel. Air Marshal Abubakar expressed gratitude to President Buhari for the priority attention given to training and operational needs of the NAF. And now to foreign story. Brazil has overtaken Spain and Italy to become the country with the fourth largest number of confirmed coronavirus infections in the world. Officials reported 14,919 new cases, taking the total to 233,142. Only the US, Russia, and the UK have higher numbers. The daily death toll in the Latin American nation rose by 816 to 15,633, the world's fifth highest. Experts warn that the real figure may be far higher due to a lack of testing. And now to end the news. Keep your own house and its surroundings pure and clean. This hygiene will keep you healthy and benefit your worldly life. You can now watch OGTV live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Windows, BlackBerry, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch live on OGTV website, www.ogtv.com, www.bbc.ng/live. That was the news at midday. We thank you for watching. Stay with us as we bring you Iroyin. Good afternoon.